Everyone, and it's my honor to be here today and to sit with these two very experienced young men about the blockchain. And now, hopefully, we can learn some real business cases on blockchain on agriculture. So I will quickly run through. My name is Kiyomi, and I come from Infinity Blockchain Labs. Currently, we are the ecosystem leader in Vietnam. And actually, we are the ecosystem partner for Bloconomic. We also have the session about the landscape of blockchain in Vietnam tomorrow. And today is my honor to moderate this session because it's also personally very interesting for me to moderate this because, Vietnam we have a heritage of culture. And I think that most of the Southeast Asian countries also share the same heritage. And I think that after the hype of blockchain in fintech industry, now it's coming to more real business cases, especially with IBM team up with Walmart about the food safety and also supply chain solution for agriculture. So now we would like to hear more about your background and your direct interactions with agriculture in blockchain. Thank you. So maybe let's start with Sachin first.
Good day, guys. I'm Sachin Mittal. I'm based out of Mumbai, India. And basically, I'm a blockchain technology consultant. I have my own small company of 10 developers. And I have a few clients. One of them is Capovix. I'm a CTO there. Then one is Resilient Partners Limited. It is based in UK, and it is working on algorithmic disruption of lawyers' work involved in the real estate business. And it is working on the hyperledger technology. Other than that, another client is, we are working on digital identity management. The company's name is Nordac. It is also based out of UK. And my day job is, I'm a college student, computer science third year BTech. Thank
you. So my name is Harpreet Singh Man. So what we usually call ourselves as the blockchain enablers or the DLT enablers here in Malaysia. So I started up as a very passionate developer into the crypto space, move on to development in blockchain, and then I started up with my own startup where we started to first look up towards building solutions for other companies, and we still do that. So we serve a lot on enterprises and banks where we actually try to do some sort of POCs, get them on board and do technical consultings. So we pushed out too much towards the protocol layers. We developed mainly on the protocol layers and a little bit in the smart contracts. But when I say blockchain enablers, what we really do at the moment in Malaysia is we are doing everything from not only building talent, but setting up standards, bringing in new technologies to Malaysia. So I'm also the recently appointed Hashgraph ambassador for KL. And then we're also bringing Hashgraph here in Malaysia and other DLT technologies. And in the sense of enabling is what we're really pushing from Blocklime is we are trying to push as much as talent that we can actually develop here in Malaysia. We are trying to push to build more local talent and also talent across ASEAN countries. So we are doing our first Dapathon tomorrow. We are training up to 50 developers for free. We're giving free scholarships on how to build dApps on Ethereum and a 2 days Dapathon with cash prizes up to 10,000 ringgit. Then we also do free trainings, been doing free trainings since February, where we have a goal of actually at least developing 1,000 developers across the ASEAN countries. And then we are also quite close with a lot of corporates and governments where we actually advise them on how to proceed on this ecosystem and also setting up standards because blockchain is lacking up standards and in being an educator as well. You can't actually go on without some sort of standards being agreed upon. So we do in the verticals of developing for what they call for companies, then learning from the experience, educating people, setting up standards, and consulting.
Wow, okay, that's a very good introduction, and I think that we have the expert here in the room about the consulting in blockchain. So I think now let's move back to the real business cases, what kind of pain points that blockchain can solve, especially in the agriculture industry. Maybe if you can give out some kind of, I think that we can name a few I think that is also aligned with the human evolution. I think 20 years ago, we never asked where this food come from. If we have food, that's the lucky enough, and we never ask about the origin. But now more and more people are aware of the origin of the food. Is it safe? Is it 100% organic and the traceability, and also about like the fair trade for the farmers. So what do you see like how blockchain can tap into like those pinpoints and solve this?
So, as you know about the IBM and Walmart partnership, so they basically piloted a project in which they were, targeting a mango. It will go from a plant and till the market. It is a whole logistic business. Then the whole supply chain, the value chain, how is it broken from part to part, and how blockchain can help in it. So the DLT. See, things are like the value chain include many entities, and these entities, when coming up on a single platform, DLT, which is visible to the all the entities, so that makes the whole process transparent, and that what blockchain can help us do.
I think like if you talk about 20 years ago and today, we definitely have moved not only from terms of technology and where we are today, we also moved on from our mindset perspective. 20 years ago, we were eating just for the sake of eating and surviving. Today, we are eating not only for today, but also our future health effects. So we are becoming more and more conscious, but if you really look into the cases, over the years, food quality and food frauds have been there, and it's actually increasing over the years. And I will say the real element about the technology here is about trust. And how about do you trust the quality that is being promised to you? Do you trust in the what they call the statements or in form of, let's just say Apple, it's been told it's brought from Sweden, but it can be actually just from in your neighboring countries. But the value that you're being sold for, because we are being charged premium for higher quality food, but are we getting the premium? So things like this is always comes to a question when it comes to getting this data. So about the sense of food in the supply chains. So being in the technology development sector, we actually get a lot of this requests where they actually ask us how can they make their supply chain more trustworthy. Because trust, in a way, is actually equal to revenue. So if you look into, let's just say in Japan, you get them the highest quality fish, but the highest quality fish is always bought by professionals who actually cook in the sushi industry or any of the food industry, and they know what they're buying. But general market doesn't know. So it depends on the trust of the seller or the market who actually selling it, but they can't track thousands and hundreds of thousands of inventory lists and and so many different vendors. So they have to trust on some sort of system to believe or to trust on that they are getting the highest quality. So in this sense, where blockchain and DLT comes in a big advantage on digitizing the whole supply chain.
Wow, yeah, I think that's so now with like the new technology, like the traceability solution, we used to have them like with the cloud system and so on before, right? But now it's coming closer like to more authenticity and how to verify it. So what could be like the challenge for this adoption rate? Because like, as we know, like the blockchain technology is still like the hype, and maybe like not like the very big firm are willing to take up like to change their operation. How can blockchain be integrated in this kind of system?
I will say blockchain will be successful, or the whole DLT space will be successful when people don't know about it. When it's integrated in our solutions, in our systems, and we can just trust the system. So then is where the real success of the system comes out. And to reach there, we have to market it today. We have to sell it today and make our people understand that they need it. It's because, the slides from our speaker earlier, he was talking about dreamers and doers and everything, although we had false and doers, but I believe I'm a big dreamer. And when I see into many years ahead of us, we are talking about big data, we're talking about smart data, we're talking about automation, digitization, but why aren't we talking about trust? The real reason why people are not adopting digitization is because they do not trust. So we have to re-engineer that into our systems, that in future we do not need a third party or a person to be relied upon to have trust into the systems. And I will say when we can get past that barrier, we can in a way build the sense of technologies and re-engineer the trust in systems and build trusted systems, we will be able to have a successful technology and digitize period, I would say.
Wow, yeah, that really reminds me of like the famous quote that blockchain is actually like bringing like trust, like you can trust without like being known each other like first. So actually it's an enabling like more like faster trust, and upon that we can like have more efficient operation. So Sachin, so can you also share with us more? I know that like in the portfolio of Capovex, you're also like looking into like the ecosystem to connecting like different agriculture industry.
So our company is working on one project called Krishi Mitra. So it's a little demographic specific. It belongs to India. So the pain point here is that most of the Indian farmers, that is 84% of Indian farmers, consist of small lands. These people, they just, you know, the profit they earn, it just gets spent in their daily allowances or daily things. So these people need to grow, you know. These people need mechanizations, people need prevention from floods, from, you know, heavy rains, these things. But they don't have capital for this. They don't have capital for mechanization, they don't have capital for proper prevention. So the platform we are trying to generate includes of 3 entities: merchants, farmers, and crop selling stores. And we have been able to develop a wireframe, and currently we are in talk with the Australian government for the pilot. We have been doing market research for around 1 month now, and we are still working on the economics, but it's going pretty well. So the thing is, if we include benefit distribution, P2P governance, P2P lending, sorry, and vendor governance together, and you know, distributing it over a supply chain management, we can come up with a very proper, very authentic solution for the agriculture system.
Yeah. So I think that like, yeah, we are the dreamers here, right? So we vision for the bright future. So I also would like to take the liberty to share about like the case study. With Infinity Blockchain Labs, we have like the special products for agriculture in Vietnam based on the blockchain, also on the traceability for the fruit. So the mango that we export to other countries, we put on the QR code stamp, and it's also linked to the blockchain to verify like the real origin of the mango. And to promote about like that initiative, actually we make an e-learning course in which like the farmers, the real farmers, they teach another farmer about blockchain. So it's like how we like translate blockchain, like it's like not a buzzword anymore, but into like the normal, into everyday life, how the farmers, they can really put into the case study. So I think that is also a very interesting case, how the dreamers can like effectively communicate to facilitate the adoption rate of the blockchain technology. So in the way, I think that like in Blockline and Capovex also, you also have multiple initiatives to educate the public and to promote more the developers to come in, the doers, right? So can you share more about that?
Yeah, I mean, we do try to build more developers. So we do free trainings, we do boot camps. We already do, I think, up to 4 boot camps so far, where we train up to a few hundred, I think about almost 300 students already. We have a goal of 1,000. And then we are doing a Dapathon, which is tomorrow. We are falling in tomorrow, and on Saturday, Sunday in Cyberjaya, in Magic, where we are training 50 developers for free, and there are about 100-something participants from all across Malaysian universities and companies. Then we're also doing a Cyberjaya Developers Meetup, where we are trying to bring in all the technical heads into one meetup and just talk about tech. So like last, we talked about the token curated registries, lightning networks, which is on a highly technical. People who want to do ICOs will not show up at our meetups. That's a good thing. And so in a way, we filter out. So we only have developers who are interested that show up to our meetups. So things like that, and then we're also doing university engagement, where we are on digital expert panels, where we sit with universities and tell them that you have to have DLT in somewhere in your courses. You have to talk about fintech, you have to talk about DLTs, you have to talk about blockchain, you have to talk about all these technologies if you want to empower and bring up the talent and be prepared for the next 50 years, next 15 years. So they at least can be ready for the challenges coming ahead. So that's what we do.
Yeah, I think that I think that the panel is running short on time. So maybe Sachin, if you would like to have some closing words about like maybe your expectation and your vision about the near future of blockchain adoption.
Sure. So agriculture is one thing I really respect. The Indian GDP indirectly depends on 53% of the agriculture, and it requires to be, technically strengthened. And I think the thing we are working on can pretty much pull it out. It's just we lack in digitization right now in India, but hopefully we'll cover that soon also.
Okay, thank you very much, Hafid and Sachin, and thank you very much, everyone.